Hello. Welcome in, everybody. I'm going to start Hello, hello. Good evening. Welcome to the stream. Tonight we're going to do something a little bit different. We've been working on Frieren for those of you who have been here or seen my posting. Tonight we're going to continue on with some Odious work, which if you don't know what that is, I'll be telling you in a little bit. Right now I'm going to start an ad break just to get things like that out of the way. So stick around. Actually, you know what? We'll wait just a little bit for people to come in. And I can actually show you what I'm talking about real quick. I'm going to pin this in the comments. So I was part of a Kickstarter. Oh, by the way, my name's KGart. My name is Kevin. I go by KGart on Instagram, YouTube, all the platforms. And I worked on an independent action figure on Kickstarter that successfully funded recently, actually like about a month ago. And right now, all the figures for that are up for pre-order. You can check those out here. Now they are a little pricey, so I understand if you don't jump on it, but if you like independent toys and you want to support that kind of thing, definitely give that a look. And that's what I'm going to be working on tonight. There's some more accessories, particularly tonight there's a head that is going to be in addition to one of the figures, which I'll go over. We'll look at that right now. So this particular figure right here, the army or the soldier Odious, there will be 2 werewolf heads that come with this guy, and we're going to be working on the second one tonight. I can even show off the first one, so if you haven't seen that, I can show you that. But yeah, that is the plan for this evening. So thanks for joining. And we'll just jump into it. For those of you who were here for Frieren, we'll do a quick look at the progress. Come on. There we go. Of where she is right now. Been posing her the last couple streams, and she's coming along pretty good. I'm pretty happy with where she's at right now. Give her a little spin. The new season's coming pretty soon, so I'm excited about that. Gonna do a little bit of rewatching of the first season to get ready, but yeah. She's coming along nicely. There's still a ways to go. Got to breathe a little bit more life into her. Some basic posing needs to be done. One hand is done, one hand is all goopy still. Hey, what's up, Josh? Welcome in, welcome in. Appreciate you being here as always. But yeah, tonight we are not working on Frieren. Tonight we are working on a werewolf head, which we're going to try to set a little bit of a mood. Let's get a darker tone going in here tonight. For those of you who are unfamiliar, this was the previous head that we worked on. This was actually shown during the campaign, which is really cool. So folks got to see this. I got to do a live stream to start this sculpt off, and then we were able to finish it up and get it printed and painted for the campaign so people could actually see it on the figure. But tonight, we're going to be working on this guy. But I am debating on what to do. Let's see, trying to dial in some new resin. So we'll be in and out for a bit. Hey, that's okay. Sorry, I didn't read that earlier, but yeah, do what you need to do, man. So in the end, this jaw is going to be separate, this lower jaw, and it's going to hinge. But I'm not sure if I want to work on that tonight, because that takes a lot of work. Oh, and ads are going to start soon, so hang tight. Got 3 minutes of ads. I won't start sculpting until y'all come back. For those of you that are hanging out and don't get the ads, I'll yap a little bit. Ads starting soon. Ads starting soon. What I do need to do is I think I need to figure out how to get some music going in the background. But I need to see what Streamlabs does. Just to have some mood music, so sometimes if I lock in, we have something in the background. Then sometimes there could be a little bit of dead air for me. Hope you've been having a good week, Josh. What kind of resin is it that you're testing? Is it just like a base resin, like another gray, or are you working on a flex resin or something that's translucent? When you get a chance, of course, to chat. I know. Let's see, trying this Resin CLTH. I don't know a lot about resins, so that is like foreign to me. It's purple. It's really nasty. Gets everywhere. Oh, fun. Well, good luck with testing nasty purple resin. Does it come out purple, or is that like an initial color and then it cures something different? I'm not even sure if there's any resins that do that. I know like with clays and stuff, some clays will start one way, or glazes will start one color and cure another. Comes out purple. Cool. Well, that's exciting. I hope you don't get too messy. I am debating what I should do tonight, though. I think I might lay in some of the groundwork for the hinging of the jaw, but I don't know if I want to actually go into the work of doing any engineering tonight. We'll see. We'll see. See, people print toys and stuff with it. Not really sure what I want to use it for, but they sent it out to me. Okay, yeah. Is there anything in particular you're interested to test it out to see what it works well for? Or you think it's going to be good for accessories, or just whatever? 15 seconds. 10. Let's see. And we're back. Welcome back from the ad break. Thanks for sticking around. Let's see. Gonna do a couple of swords tonight. Not sure. Heads make sense. Just kind of whatever. Another tool in the belt. Yeah. Maybe some Odious stuff sometime. Yeah, I mean, that's, that's why I got the purple background going. Purple is the color for Odious. So yeah. All right, so I think for tonight, I just want to keep it chill. I'm going to work on the fur, kind of fine tune the sculpt a little bit. I like the way the front of the head looks. I know I'm going to have to rework the jaw a bit once I get it hinged. So I'm not going to mess with the inside area too much. That's all going to change. But I can start sculpting in fur and go with the flow that I already have in. Also, I do want to kind of rework this back area because I feel like it just doesn't fit with the rest. And I might bring the neck in to kind of help me with that. So let me find the neck. No, that's not the neck. Scroll down through all my tools. There we go. So we got the neck in place so we can figure out how to work around that. Do I want the shoulders in there too? A little bit. Okay. There we go. So I think I want to make like the hair like a little bit bushier and longer in the back. Kind of work the volume out. Uh-oh, did I have this on Dynamesh? Okay, no, good. It was just masking. Okay. So let's see what we're going to do. Okay, we do have that going. We're going to mask some of this. Why is it doing that? There we go. I'm going to mask some of this like side and cheek fur and the stuff from the lower jaw. I don't know why it keeps doing the square. It should do the lasso. Okay, let's turn off symmetry so I can get some of this. But yeah, I just feel like it's too short back here. I also might bring the brow up a little bit. It looks a little too narrow. That's the tough part when you have artwork that's only from one angle. This originally was just from the front. I can actually, let me see if I can bring that up. So texture, oh, I have it. Texture. So this is kind of the inspiration. And I kind of futzed with it a little bit just to give it a little bit more volume, a little fullness, because it was looking a little weird when I was matching up directly. Still might try to match up a little bit more. But the spirit of the piece is there. And Wade seems pretty happy with it too, so that's what I was going off of. So there's a lot of information that's just like not there. So in cases like this, I get to make stuff up. So I'm thinking maybe giving him just some longer hair in the back just to be a little bit more interesting and also make it different from the other werewolf, since that's such a short, tight cut. So adding a little volume, maybe a little bit of a flare. And we'll just test it out. If we don't like it, we can readjust. But I want to try this out because I didn't like the really, really close, tight, round look. I was going before. And I think I'll fill this out just a little bit on either side. Brow a little bit stronger. A little stronger from the profile. Okay, so for those of you that were here for the first werewolf head, I did come in and do like the detail sculpt work on stream. It was like a midweek stream, which was kind of fun. People came through. And the brush that I use a lot, there were two brushes that I go through. For those of you who don't know, the software I'm using is called ZBrush. So that's why a lot of the sculpting tools are called brushes, to kind of have that artist flair. And then you can kind of change brush tips, basically. They're called alphas, which that's not an unusual term for 3D software or art software. Let's see. Looks a bit geriatric without teeth. Yeah, it does. That's pretty funny. All right, so now I'm going to go through and kind of do this pass with the standard brush to kind of get a little bit more of a fur look throughout. I have flow going through right now, but we need to get more of the strands of fur kind of feel to it. And then we got to find some more resolution and resolve for some of these areas where fur meets or it flares out. So we're kind of just going to go through and do a treatment. I don't know if anybody else likes to do this, but I kind of like to do these 3 passes for fur or hair. One where it's just the flow with kind of the thick clay tubes brush, so it shows direction. And then I can go back with the standard brush and this alpha that gives hints of strands of fur or hair, and follow that flow that I mapped out. And then if I see things that don't really look good to me, then I can go back in and adjust those things on the fly. Maybe rearrange the flow if it feels like it needs that. And then I go in with the Dame Standard brush. Hey, what's up? How's it going? Hope you're having a nice weekend. Good to see you, KO. So then after I do this kind of still rough pass with the standard brush, I like to go in with the Damien standard brush, which is a much finer. It's basically like an individual strand kind of thing, and I can go in and comb through. Let's see. So I'm not sure it's been covered, but I imagine you are using a stylus and a tablet of some sort. Is it hard to not be looking directly at what your hand is drawing? Not anymore. It used to be. It took a little bit of getting used to, and I think it's different for everyone. But at this point, it's kind of second nature. preferably, you know, you like to kind of be able to see what you're doing and be in it. At the studio that I work at, I do not have a tablet. I work on a Cintiq, which is basically the screen, and I work directly on the screen. And there are benefits to that. I enjoy it. It's a really cool device and tool. Oh, hey! Thanks for the follow, Lonkerlicious. I appreciate it. Welcome to the fold. Trying to foster an artist community here. So if you're an artist and you want to work along, please do. If you're not and you're just curious and you want to see the process and zen out, that's also very cool. Right now I'm working on a werewolf head for an independent toy that I worked on. And I'm answering questions on the software and the tools that I use. I'll continue with Josh's question right now. So no, I don't really find it difficult to not see directly what my hand's doing. It kind of becomes second nature after a while. I don't even it's been so long. I've been doing this for a couple decades now, so I don't even remember how difficult it was to kind of get used to that. But I do, let's see, I'll probably just be lurking while I'm doing some stuff. Hey, yeah, no, that's great. Lurk away. I appreciate the lurk. It's nice to have you here. Hopefully it helps ease your studying. What are you studying right now, if you don't mind me asking, before you get into super lurk mode? I always like to hear what other people are doing as well. If you're already lurking, that's okay. You can maybe answer later if you get a chance. But the one thing that I don't like about the Cintiq, Josh, is that sometimes my hand actually gets in the way. I don't feel like I have to deal with that too much when I'm sculpting and working in ZBrush. It doesn't seem to bother me as much for whatever reason, and I don't know why it is. But if I happen to be like drawing in Photoshop, sometimes my hand just gets in the way when I'm using the Cintiq, and I do not like it. But yeah, that's, I think, the only thing that I don't really like about the Cintiq. And it's another thing that I've gotten used to. It doesn't bother me when I'm sculpting for some reason. And I don't know why that is. See. Hey! Thanks for the gifted sub, Josh. To Mooney Vader, you now don't have to worry about ads. What? Okay, good. It's just the one. Thank you, Josh. Always so generous, very supportive. Really appreciate you always coming into the streams and donating. Eventually, I promise I'll put that money into good use. I'll either get a new mic or a new camera. Probably a new microphone will be the first investment. I'd like to get another camera that's a little bit sharper, but one thing at a time, you know? Here we go, autosave. Pound it. Hopefully not getting any resin on my hand, though. Don't get that purple resin on my hands right now. I'm working. Let's see. Oh, this is taking so long to autosave. So frustrating. But yeah, so I hope... Oh, thank you very much for the compliment, Mooney. I am enjoying how this this head's looking. It's coming along. Again, still a rough stage. I got to get this done in a couple weeks. See, it's pretty rad knowing we are getting, let's see, it's pretty rad knowing we are getting this on a figure in a year. Yeah, no, I'm excited for this to become a reality. It's really cool that the design that Bobo came up with for these werewolf heads. I think they turned out really nice. I think the direction that Wade gave him, what he wanted for these two heads, is really cool. And yeah, it's really neat to be in a position to make some cool toys, get it directly to the community that is interested in it, see the feedback and the interest, and also give you guys a look into the creation of this stuff. Because, you know, we're, for all of us that are toy lovers, I mean, I love action figures, but I have, you know, my other niches that I am more interested in, but I just happen to be in the world of action figures as far as the work that I do. But, you know, I know how the sausage is made because I get to do it, but there's a lot of people that don't. So to be able to not only share what I do, but for people to know that like this stuff is going to be in hand in the next year or so is really, really kind of cool. So I'm excited for that. I'm excited for myself to get to work on cool stuff like this, but also really excited for all of the awesome fans of Odious and Unparalleled Universe that are going to get some more cool action figures, because that first figure was so cool. And speaking of, let's get that pinned to the top again. This is the figure. Actually, there's 5 figures. So check it out, folks. Click on that link. See all the awesome figures that were successfully kickstarted. There is the Cowboy Odious, which is, I think, my favorite. There's the Soldier or Army Odious, which is the figure that will actually be coming with the 2 werewolf heads. And then 2 additional bonus figures that are only available on that Big Bad Toy Store link, which are the... What happened here? Why is my memory low? Which are only available through Big Bad Toy Store. Let me see if I can get rid of some stuff here. Gotta quit some software. Don't save. Don't save. Don't save. Was helping my kid out with some projects. Don't save. Fun behind the scenes. All right. Hopefully that helps me a little bit with some of the memory issues that's happening. Might need to restart my computer, but not until after stream. But yeah, it's just really, really cool to get to not only share in the process, but know that this stuff is gonna be in people's hands very soon, much sooner than it feels. A year can go by quick. Don't want it to, well, kind of want this year to go by quick. Kind of want a number of years to go by quick. But it's going to be a good time. Let's see. Get your orders in soon. Big Up Store is supposed to put their pre-order in at the end of the month. Ooh, yeah, that's true. Never know when pre-orders will go away. Let's see. Is the wolf going to have color on it? I will not be coloring the wolf, but it will be painted in the end, yes. So at my stage of things, usually I do not add color. I added color to Frieren and to the earrings that I was working on for my wife, just for fun, because it makes it more interesting, looks a little bit better on stream, kind of gets the idea across of what it will look like in the end. But typically I don't add any color to any of the stuff that I'm working on, because it just adds time, and it's any color that I add kind of means nothing unless for some reason I'm doing color printing, which sometimes I do that, but most of the time I do not do any color printing stuff. Sometimes I have done color work as like kind of a digital paint master. So it's basically a guide for the factories that will end up producing the product. But usually we like to do a physical paint master, and we have some really phenomenal painters at the studio that I work at. So I don't really want to do too much of that. I want our really skilled painters who get paid to make beautiful painted artwork. I want them to be doing that work. Yep. Nico Hodge, Artman Customs. He's a very talented man. You can follow him on Instagram. I don't know if you're able to add a link to his Instagram, Josh. Let's see. Oh yeah, and Beardy. I don't know him though, but shout out to him. Yeah, he was awesome as well. Miss him a lot. He's a very talented painter. He did the early prototypes for Odious, the paint masters for those, and Nico mostly did the new stuff, and Wade did some of the paint master stuff as well. Let's see, at Artman Customs. Yes, that is his Instagram. So if you have Instagram and you want to follow a really talented figure painter, follow that guy. Yeah, I do like, let's see, Nico is painting something for me right now. Oh, cool. We shared an exclusive. Oh, that's really cool. Have you posted about that yet? Did I miss that? Or is it something that I've already seen that I'm not like thinking about right now? Because I would love to know what that is. Let's see. Haven't posted yet. Cool. Well, I'll keep an eye out for that. That's really exciting. And I can't wait to work on some stuff with you too. But yeah, one thing about making hair, it's very, very zen, at least for me. I enjoy working on stuff like this just because I can kind of get lost in it. Some people might find it tedious, which I totally get to an extent, but for myself, I really enjoy kind of planning it out and mapping it out. Laying it by hand. Man, what I don't like that I've lost my undo history because something is taking up my memory right now, and it hasn't been doing that before. So I might need to restart my computer soon for sure. Restarting ZBrush also would help, but I don't think I want to do that midstream. So I think I'll have to make sure I do that before next week for sure, but just in general, because I still have a lot of work on this kind of stuff that I need to work on in the next couple of days. Get ready for the weeks ahead. And I want to make sure I have undo history, you know? Let's see. Hey! You've been summoned. Hey, how's it going? Thanks for coming in. Hey, Papa, what's up? Good to see you all. Welcome in, welcome in. Just working on a werewolf head. For some reason my chat paused, so I didn't see you guys for a second. But yeah, we were just talking about you, how you're an awesome painter, and definitely glad to have you, you know, working on the Odious stuff, and it's been nice to work with you at the studio and see stuff that I've gotten to work on come to life, and plus all the other stuff that you've been getting to work on. That crazy big ass dragon that I saw you working on the other day, or yesterday. I don't know, man. It's all blending together. But yeah, shout out to you for sure. Let's see. I don't even know if I can do. Let's see. What happens if I do this? X. Like that. Doesn't do anything. Yeah, I need to. Man, I have so much stuff that I need to set up still. I need to set up shoutouts. I need to do some alerts. I have all the basic alerts done, but yeah. Let's see. That dragon is definitely crazy. Yeah. That's huge. Like, how much color work is going into that thing? Is it mostly going to be like all dark like that? Hey, what's up, Six? Welcome in, welcome in. Yeah, all right. Everyone's coming on in. That's really, really cool. Just in time to see me work on a lot of werewolf fur. We're also talking about painting. We have a really cool painter in the house. Nico Hodge, Artman Customs. He's likely going to be the guy painting this in the next, I don't know how many weeks once I get it done. Probably around February time. And all the accessories that I'm going to be working on in the near future. Yeah. Thank you all for being here. I appreciate it. Tonight's going to be a really, really chill stream. It's just me working, combing out a werewolf. We'll get back to Frieren next. Well, not next week, actually. There will be no stream because I will be camping. I'm going to be out in the wilderness with my kiddo and his scout troop. So I'm looking forward to that. It's a really cool trip. We go to the lava tubes and explore a dormant volcano that's here in SoCal. So no stream next weekend. But after that, we'll get back to Frieren. Hopefully this werewolf will be close to done, and I'll be posting on Instagram. KGart82. See, no stream? What the heck? What the heck are you supposed to do? I don't know, man. Work on your resin. More resin. I might do a midweek stream at some point. Maybe pop on for an hour or so, because I know I'll be working on stuff. I don't know if I'll do that this week or the week after. But yeah, no Saturday stream next week. I'm glad that came up too, because it's good to give you folks that come regularly a warning. But it is okay because, you know, we all got life. I definitely appreciate everyone that comes in on a Saturday night because I know Saturday nights can be busy for people, have plans, spend time with friends and family. So I really appreciate everyone that comes in to hang out with me here because I know time is precious, especially that weekend time. Speaking of, Happy New Year to folks that definitely I have not seen since the new year. Some of you I've kind of chatted with, but how's everyone's New Year starting so far? Are we already making headway on our resolutions? I might do something cool that I've seen some people do is kind of like a vision board. And this year, you know, since I've started streaming, there's a lot of things that I kind of want to do with this platform. And I think I want to make some sort of a goals board so that way I can see for myself the things that I want to do. Like I've already like talked myself through them and I know the things that I want to do. Eventually want to get a Patreon going. I want to grow my social media, which it has been growing steadily. I could be doing better, and not the growth part, but just like I can focus more on that and probably do a better job quality wise on that. Also getting onto other platforms. Kind of dread doing multiple platforms, but it's kind of necessary. And then just growing the following here, get more people's eyes in here, people working along with me. I also want to eventually do my own Discord and have kind of like an artist community there where everyone can share work. We can support each other, kind of give critiques, build each other up, help each other out, maybe do some collaboration. But yeah, I have a lot of things that I'd like to either accomplish or start working on over this year. And I'm pretty lucky, even though my community is small. I have a lot of supportive folks, specifically, you know, in the chat room tonight. It's always nice to have you guys here. But aside from just viewership, I have a lot of supportive fellow streamers that have been helping me and encouraging me and inspiring me, and it's been really cool. Yeah. Resolution, survive. I mean, I can't argue. That's a good one. Definitely want to do that myself. But yeah, if anybody else has any resolutions, shout them out. I love hearing that kind of stuff because it's good to share those thoughts and those inspirations because it helps us manifest. Let's see. Happy to hear your plans. Sounds look. Thank you. Thanks, man. Let's see. High risk, high reward. Yeah. Survival is high risk and high reward. Because if you survive, you still got to be here. But being here is its own reward, I guess. I don't know. I definitely want to do some stuff just to improve the stream as well. Visually, I want to get a better camera, get a better microphone, kind of the usual upgrade of equipment. I like my computer, so I'm not too worried about that. I definitely like my software. I might get into other softwares at some point. But for now, this is what I work in. Whoop. Sometimes ZBrush does this. Pops in old images. Very weird. But yeah, and other than equipment, like I said, just building up the community and getting folks to not interact with me, but interact with themselves and inspire folks to work on their own stuff. Because that's really what I'm kind of excited about. I used to volunteer for a number of years, and I really enjoyed doing that, but I had to stop volunteering because of some shifts at the studio. And I understood them, but it was still sad. I used to volunteer at the Braille Institute, which is for blind folks. And I was in the art program there, and I taught people or assisted them with learning how to sculpt. At first, I was an assistant in a multimedia classroom. And then it was really cool because I reached out to Pixelogic, who was the company that started ZBrush, and kind of pitched to them the idea of teaching 3D software to the blind. Because, fun fact, just because you're blind, it doesn't mean you have zero vision. So even if you are legally blind, you do have vision. Not everyone is total blind. Maybe like 10% of the blind population is total blind. So that means there's a lot of people who are blind who are visual artists still. See, that's very cool. Do you know Braille? I knew Braille for a very short time when I was like 11 years old. I took a trip to the Braille Institute in Anaheim. Not to dox myself, but, LA area. And I grabbed a card and I kind of learned it, and I knew how to read it for a very short time, and then clearly I don't use it or didn't use it. So that totally escaped my brain. But luckily for me, there's not really a need to learn it. What I actually would like to learn maybe is sign language, because one, that is a really cool language, and two, it's kind of a community that is underserved. Like it takes work to communicate with someone who is deaf, because even when you're talking to folks that have another auditory language, there's lots of ways to kind of bridge the gap that I find aren't there when you're communicating with someone who is deaf. And it really relies heavily on work on their part to meet us, the hearing community, where we are. I imagine you lose that fast if not exercise. Oh yeah. I mean, anything can be lost, especially like any language stuff can be lost very quick if you don't exercise it. Especially like with me, like I learned it and then it was gone. Like I didn't use it at all, and I was young, so I wasn't exercising it much at all. I just learned the alphabet, so I knew how to read it, kind of. Also, to be really nerdy, I learned Arabic when I was in high school, and was able to like fluently write that for like a year, and then stopped using it, and then lost that completely too. And for those of you that don't know what Arabic is, it's the written kind of hieroglyph or symbol language in the Star Wars universe. So nerdy as hell. That's me. Not nerdy enough to still remember it, but nerdy enough to have learned it at one point and been able to write letters with people. But I really loved my work at the Braille Institute. I miss it a lot. I still am in communication a bit with my students that I worked with. I didn't have a lot of students. I basically taught there for about 7 years, and it was mostly the same people with a few people that would like trickle in and out. So there's a few people that I still communicate with. And yeah, that's another thing I recommend if you are so inclined, or if you can do it, definitely find a way to volunteer and give back. This world is in desperate need of positives. What about Klingon or Elvish? No, not that far. Not that far. I admire, I respect people that know those languages, but those are not for me. But yeah, if you have the opportunity to volunteer and do anything, either if it's to share your skill or kind of just basic volunteer work at like a soup kitchen or something, I miss it. I want to find a way to give back or do something like that again. This is kind of a way I'm doing that. I don't know if it always feels like that because, you know, it's kind of falls under the lines of entertainment in a way, but I do see myself more as an educator, so I like to spread the joys of art and encourage people to do it themselves. And so yeah, that kind of gets roundabout back to what I was talking about before. What I would like to do with all of this is kind of start an artist community online. And yeah, let's see, volunteering time. I count it. Yeah. Well, thank you. I'm volunteering my time for sure. My throat was already kind of messed up today, by the way, so I'm trying to drink water and keep it going, but was kind of sick at the beginning of the week. Wasn't too bad, thankfully. My wife got hit worse, where it was more of a cough. And though I didn't really get the the sickness that she did, my voice, my throat is very fatigued and recovering still. Let's see. If I volunteer to teach my talents, we would go back 20. Oh, don't count yourself so short, Papa. I'm sure you have valuable skills that you can share that would benefit our society. I know you're fairly tech savvy, and I'm sure there's lots of people that could benefit from the skills that you have. But yeah, it's been the end of 2025 was very, very interesting for me. Starting streaming, getting more involved in online communities. Let's see, maybe our society should go back. Maybe I should not the worst observation, Mr. Josh. Yeah, there's it feels like we've already gone back in some ways, but it would be nice to go back directly from now about the distance that you were talking about, instead of feeling like we've gone back far more many decades. Okay, that's already looking nice and furry, much more than before. We still have the flow maintained. It looks a little bit more like fur. The resolution on this mesh is a little low, so I'll probably end up taking that up before the next pass. And now I'm just kind of like looking at some areas that can maybe get a little bit more depth. And then once I work on the next pass, what's also nice about the Damien Standard brush is it does dig in a lot, so I can maybe like throw in some more details of separation for some sections that might need it. Before I go to that though, what I'm going to do is kind of do a pass where I figure out how to resolve some of these areas where the hair is flowing out. So it doesn't look so chunky. And just adding a little bit more detail in before I get into those detailed strands. I can also kind of smooth out this nose. I'll eventually put a specific texture on the nose. Did I do that with the this head? Yeah. So I'll put more of a texture similar to this head on it. And again, this is like closer to the look that we're going to end up going for the werewolf. You can see there's a lot more fine fur work with the way it resolves too. It's not as chunky. So this is kind of a different head, different design, but similar kind of look for the texture that we're going to get. And then, of course, got to do the engineering. Not looking forward to that. I am looking forward to it because it's just going to be cool. It'll be nice to have a hinged jaw on this guy. But, yeah. I'm just avoiding the work. The only reason I'm not going to do that on stream is kind of just because it is a little bit more tedious and I don't really have a plan per se on exactly where I'm going to put particular parts of the articulation, which for me isn't like a big deal. Like I do this all the time, so once I get going, it'll be fine. But I don't think that's something that would have been fun to see me work through and do on stream. Some people might disagree, but I just wasn't in the mood for it tonight. So that's why we're doing fur. Woo! All right, let's work on this ear fur a little bit before we go on to the other resolve. One other brush I like to use is the snake hook, which this gets kind of like the strands. Whoop, color. This gets the strands kind of on the ends. And this is what starts to kind of like break up these shapes a little bit more. I can go in with the move brush too. But it's nice the way the snake hook brush kind of like grabs things. It's different than the move brush. And I'm not sure, like this, some of this stuff might be like a separate plugin, but I don't know. That's something I'm going to have to talk to the boss man about. Okay. Let's get this more center screen. So yeah, just kind of trying to find like fun areas to kind of add little strands that flare out. Can't go too crazy, only because clearly this has to be manufactured. Let's see. And just so y'all know, another ad break is going to start in about 5 minutes. When the ad break starts, I'm going to take a little bit of a break, sit back. Those few awesome folks that are subbed do not have to see the ads. We can hang out, talk a little bit more. For those of you that are not subbed, please stick around through the ads. Helps me. And yeah, I just appreciate that a lot. It helps the stream. When you come back, we'll get right back to work. Did anybody have any fun times today? Any fun weekend plans? Yay, no ads. Yeah. I know you're my first subscriber. I know Mr. Brown is very jealous because he likes to be first in a lot of stuff. But you are my first Twitch Prime subscriber, Mr. Brown. So there you go. So yeah, what did you guys do today or night or wherever you are? I know Papa's like on the other side of the universe from a lot of us, so your time is very different from ours. You'll take it. For me, I went out with the fam and some friends. We went bowling today, which was really fun. I like to bowl. I used to bowl a lot when I was younger. And then we went over to my mom's and we finished the season finale of Stranger Things. Yeah, I'm about to have my breakfast. Cool. Well, I hope you're having a good morning. Thank you for spending it here with us on the KGart stream. Oh, you were on a league? That's the thing. I never was on a league. I wish I was. My dad did a league, and what I did is I took a bowling class in college and then got equipment because I really enjoyed it. And when I was working at Disney at the theme parks, we were close to a really cool bowling alley that had very cheap games, and so I bowled a lot during that time. And I was the weirdo that always brought his bowling ball because I was the only person that had one. But I was like, I spent money on this and I learned how to do it. And I'm not the best bowler, but I'm definitely going to get my money's worth on the shoes and balls that I had drilled specifically to work for my hands and bowling style. But that's cool. So now we know if we ever hang out in the future, Josh, whether I come to Legion's Con or if you ever make it over this way, we're going to have to do some bowling. Did I have 2 bowling balls? I do have 2 bowling balls. I currently have 2 bowling balls. I have 3 bowling balls, sir. Because you got to have your main ball and then you got to have your spare. Your ball for your spares. Actually, my first bowling ball is currently my spare ball. And the ball that I mostly bowl with now is my dad's old ball. I got it re-drilled for myself. And yeah, so. Did I ever bowl a 300? No. I think the highest I ever bowled was maybe like a 230, 240. Uh, I'm usually like a 160, 170 if I'm doing pretty well, sometimes closer to 200, but never a 300. I think my dad might have gotten a 300. But I know there's like a couple ways to get it, and I don't remember if he got like a straight up 300 or if he had one of those like alternate routes, like it counted as a 300 because of this particular scoring or handicap or whatever it was. But myself, no. I never got above like, I think a 240, which I'm proud of. That's hard to do. You're so close. Oh man. On the 10th, you got a 9, spared it, closed at 279. Hey, what's up? Welcome in, welcome in. Just in time for the ad break. Oh no. Maybe you came in and you got your ads on the way in, and if you did, you can hang out as we talk. I'm going to take a break from sculpting right now since most people are on ads. Oh man, my lighting today. I don't think it helps that I have a red shirt on. I feel super pink. Let me take a break. Thanks for coming in, Davis Adam. Just really happy to have you here. Happy to have everybody here. It's been so cool seeing everybody pop in. We had Artman Customs here for a little bit. That was fun. Here, let me do full me. Let's see. Am I pink? Yeah, I feel really pink today. I don't know what it is. I think it might be the shirt. It might be the light bouncing off. Makes me feel like all the imperfections of my face are highlighted today. But yeah, we're halfway through the ad break-ish. So yay! But yes. Mr. Jeff, sorry that you got a 279. That's so good though, dude, to still be able to get that. Today I did a 136, which it was at like one of those cosmic bowling lanes. So first time, we only did one game, and it was the first time bowling there. So it took me a second to dial in the lane, and then of course once I dialed in the lane, I started doing better. But I haven't bowled in a while, so I wasn't picking up all my spares. But I mean, honestly, in that case, I very easily got, you know, over 130, so I felt I did okay. I wasn't too upset. I think if I did another game, I probably would have been able to up it a little bit more. But yeah, hooray bowling talk. All right, 30 seconds till the ads are over. Let's pop back into the scene to get ready for folks. Hope everyone enjoys seeing Slimer in the background. I love him. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Dropping my mic. Sorry. And we are back. So welcome back, everyone. Welcome in, Davis Adam. Really happy to have you here. We were talking a little bit about bowling because I went bowling today. That's why. And yeah, we're just working on the Odious Werewolf head number 2 today, getting all the fur worked on. I'll be doing the engineering probably in the coming week or weeks. And then there's other accessories that are going to be worked on very soon in preparation for Manufacturing to begin. Yes, thank you, thank you, thank you. Unless you bowl straight regular lanes are tough. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I was able to get a good grip on the lane, but yeah, it was. I don't bowl straight, so it wasn't horrible. Let's see, good oil pattern. Let's see, need him to run with a good oil pattern. Anyway, enough of that. Yeah, yeah. I think we're nerding out a little bit too much on the bowling. Hopefully, not boring everyone to tears. But yeah, so that's what I did today. I had a fun time with some friends and the family, and that's it. So what did you all do today? Did everyone else have a nice Saturday so far? Any fun activities that you did? Um, is there anything that you worked on that you're excited about? We were talking about resolutions earlier. Is anyone working towards their resolutions for this year already? Had a big day. Went to Target. Nice. Target can be a big day, depending on how much you allow yourself to spend. Target can be dangerous. All right, let's bring that snake hook back. We are through the second ad break, the latter half of the stream. Let's see, I got some decent headroom on reorganizing the toy room. Oh, cool. That's really, really cool. Yeah, my office stuff, that's all like antique furniture that my wife has and inherited, so this was the best place to put it, and it ended up being my office, so I'm the one that basically filled it with all my toys. Got a bunch of Transformers, some books. Huge Transformer fan, by the way. Let's see. Had an exam and worked. That's about it. Hey, that sounds like a lot. so then because you're a day ish ahead. So right now Sunday's already starting for you. Is that what it is, or are you already on Monday? No, that seems too far ahead. But that means you're working on weekends, which boo. But you got to do what you got to do. I used to work on weekends all the time. I am glad I don't have to anymore. Though I wouldn't mind shifting it to where, bingo, it's Sunday. Cool. I wouldn't mind shifting to maybe Sunday, Monday, or breaking it up and having Sunday off and something like that. But I don't know. I used to have that thought, but I don't think I have that thought anymore. What I wouldn't mind doing is working from home at least one day during the week consistently. I used to be able to do that. It was really nice. It was nice to avoid traffic one day out of the week and to be able to be home with the family sooner. But alas, that was taken from me. It was deemed unfair. It was said that working from home is less productive. But it was very funny because at the same time they were praising me for my productivity. So I thought it was very funny that there was a disconnect with why I couldn't work at home anymore, but also why they appreciated the work I had been doing. See, I mean, it's freelance and I work from home, so yeah, I mean, that's good. If that's the case, then yeah, it's not so bad. I would like to get to that point someday. It would be cool to be able to do just freelance. or just consider myself my own studio, which I feel is a little bit different than freelance. It's kind of freelance work, but it's more contract based at that point and a little bit more official. But we'll see what the future holds. Right now, I'm just happy to have work and also to do fun side projects like this. So for those of you who have popped in and are wondering why you're looking at this weird spiky loaf, this is actually the inner ear kind of fur on this werewolf head. When I just focus on it, it looks kind of like fire right now. Let's see. I feel like the "you aren't productive at home" crap has been disproven at this point. Yeah, I think during the pandemic things were good for the studio in the beginning, and I think there were a few people that were having some productivity issues, and some companies, when they see one or two people behave a certain way, they chalk it up to everyone, and instead of dealing with the single issue, they like to not have to worry about dealing with it ever again and go, I'm going to eliminate this problem altogether, even though it's beneficial for other people in other ways. Also ironic, at that time, there were two people that were exclusively working at home for various reasons. So it also was funny that it was still kind of seen as like, it's unfair that you get to work from home once a week when there are two other people. One was out of state and one for other reasons that I don't know, but I know and respect and think that's good. They should be working from home full time. But yeah, it was very funny to me that had to end for myself. And, I just said, I don't like that, but I'm not going to walk out on it, so I guess that's how it is. So, it's the way the cookie crumbles sometimes. I'm still happy where I work. I have survived there, surviving a long time. Oh, you know what else probably makes me look super pink? The purple on the screen. That's not helping. It's reflecting. But yeah, I count myself very fortunate to have the job that I do and to still get to do this kind of stuff on the side. And I'm having a real good time. So yeah. See, people only want you back because business real estate. I mean, kind of. There definitely is truth to that, for sure. Speaking of, when I was talking about, getting to work on figures and do cool side project stuff like this, for those of you who haven't seen, pinned to the top is the link to Big Bad Toy Store, to all the Odious figures. The OG figure is in stock right now, so I would get it if you're interested. See, this guy right here, the original figure that this is all based off of from the first Kickstarter campaign. I have mine with one of Josh Brown's custom T-Rex head hands on it. But yeah, figure's really cool. Soft goods are great. The sculpt reads really well, so I'm really happy that my work shines through, and the articulation, the factory did a great job working that out. So that's the original figure. And then also we have 4 new figures coming out. We have the Cowboy Odious, which is my favorite. He's got a very good and bad and the ugly look to him. I need to print those. Oh yeah, you need to print those in this new purple, for sure. Very excited for this figure. Well, we already showed the Army one. There's also the exclusive to, since the Kickstarter funded, you could pre-order these two figures only on Big Bad Toy Store. The Ronin Odious. Very excited for this guy. And last but not least, my second favorite will be the Inuit Odious. The good and the bad and the O. That's right. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to this figure right here. One, it's the different paint, which is really cool. So it's going to be more unique compared to all of the other Odious figures that are going to have the same color scheme. The soft goods are really, really cool. Shout out to Rebel 10 Customs, who does all the soft good work. She's fantastic. A very new exclusive mace. A new Pam for Odious. See, I wish I could. I just loved that project. Thank you, man. Thank you so much. I appreciate the fact that you support it and think it's so cool. It definitely means the world. It funded, so we're good. So you don't need to feel too bad about it. We're here. So anybody that can get these figures now can. That was like the big thing. It would be awesome if you could get one too. I wish you could, but I understand, independent toys, it's not a cheap game. We had to raise a lot of money to be able to make them at all, and that means that they're kind of pricey. It's not your $30 Marvel Legends figure. The quality is better. They feel so much better than a Legends figure, which is good because you're paying a premium price. You get a lot more than you would get with a Legends figure. So the value that you get, I think, is worth the money that you spend. But it still is a lot of money. So, thanks to everyone that did spend the money to support. This stuff can't happen without that. So thank you again. Over and over again. I don't think I'll ever stop thanking people for supporting and being part. And yeah, no, I don't think there's an and. I just think that's where that is. It's just really nice to be able to do this stuff and be able to finish this project out. Let's see. Yeah, $30 figure here is $70. So yeah. Yeah, and I'm not sure if this figure even would ship, because I don't remember if it was available in Turkey. It wasn't available in every country just because shipping is crazy and, like you said, taxes and stuff like that. So it might not even been available to you. I think Big Bad Toy Store, I think you probably could do it, but the figures are a little bit more expensive there, but not much. And yeah, let's see. Went broke getting the cowboy and soldier, and I'll do it again. Thanks, Davis Adam. Thank you. That's a real one right there. Yeah, I know. My wife was also upset with me with the amount of money that I spent. I spent a little extra. I just got I just got an Army O and a cowboy O, but I also got some skulls and art prints to go along with the original from Erwin Papa. Woo! I know Josh is jealous. I know Wade is jealous. but yeah, it's been really cool to be part of this project from the beginning, and yeah, I will stick with it as long as fate allows. Let's see, just so happy that I met you and able to see your projects. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I am too. That's something I was talking about earlier about these crazy months. I think I've talked about it on the past couple streams. Starting streaming has been a trip. It's something that I've wanted to do for a long time, um, for a number of reasons. One is just because it gives me an excuse to work on things that I want to work on. Now, this is a different example of that because, like, I would be working on this regardless because, I'm part of the art team and the crew that's making this happen. So this isn't a good example of this. But here, I'll bring up Frieren for a little bit again. You can take a little werewolf head break. But yeah, getting to do just like the things that I want to do. And I'm going to do more of this kind of stuff. I don't know how long it will take me to like cook through projects like this because I only stream, like 2 hours a week. But basically, I'm going to be continuing to do work like this, projects that I want to do. I'm going to be making the decisions, doing it all for me. And, as time goes on, I'm definitely going to get input from you guys, which I think is going to be a lot of fun. I would like to be able to put a lot of these projects up available for people to download and print themselves. And I'm going to do the engineering on these things. Sometimes I'll do statues, which is what I want to do with Frieren. And in the future, also maybe some action figures. But we'll see. We'll see how that goes. Let's see. How much do you work on freelance stuff, not GG stuff, during the week that we don't see? It varies. I don't do a lot of freelance work. The biggest job I have is working on Odious stuff, and that's not constant. Like, it's going to be pretty consistent the next couple months to finish stuff out. But once that's done, it's kind of, up in the air. Just depends on what comes through. I have a lot of people that, like, will come in and send me messages and be like, how much to do this? And then I tell them how much, and then I never hear from them again. Because it is expensive. It takes time away from my family. I do have a full-time job, so the time is more valuable. I try not to make it unreasonable, but yeah. So it just varies. There's a lot of other extra activity, stuff that I do. I help my kid with scouts. I am part of my church's council, so I also dedicate time to that. So yeah, I'm always doing something. It's not always freelance work, but I make the time for it. But now, like during the week, sometimes I'll spend like a couple hours on these projects just to push them a little bit further, so it's not taking so much longer as I'm streaming them and only doing it for like 2 hours. But yeah, so I hope that answers your question. Let's see, there's definitely a price difference when working with domestic industry professionals. I have learned, yes. That is for sure. Yeah, because it's a lot of work. If let me switch to Snakehook. If I was only doing freelance, I would have probably a better consistent menu of pricing for certain things. And it might be a little bit more reasonable because it would be my 9 to 5. But as right now, all freelance work is extra for me, is extra time. I do value that time a bit more. Let's So you have some international sculptors that are dirt cheap, but sometimes I want to support local friends. Yeah, and that's the thing too. It's like with that, it is tough to compete with that. There are lots of reasons why international sculptors are cheaper, and it's not because their work is necessarily less. You know, we live in a place where everything is more expensive, and because of that, well, there you go. We have a higher cost of living. All the inflation means that all of our costs are higher, and therefore just everything is more expensive here. And I appreciate that you try to do local as often as you can. And I think that is all any of us can ask as far as supporting local artists and that kind of stuff. Also for me, I'm a little bit more expensive just because I've been doing this for a number of years. I I think I am a good sculptor. I think there are a lot of people that are very talented out there that can do things that I can't necessarily do either as well, or just it's a skill that I don't have. I focus on different things. So there's always going to be different artists, different skill levels, and all that kind of stuff. One thing that I can do that a lot of people can't do, and that's why people come back to me, is the engineering aspect of it. And my autistic self doesn't necessarily do it in the same way that other people do it. But I have good results. There was another Kickstarter that I worked on years and years and years ago, and I worked on the first 2 launch figures for that Kickstarter, and they had a sculpting team that they ended up not using me any further because there were some worries of contract stuff, because I was working at another place at the time that had some clauses as far as non-compete. I don't think that there really was an issue, but there was a concern, and so they're like, we're not going to work with you further. We'll just do the 2 figures. And I was like, okay, fair enough. And I did that, and the Kickstarter did well, and then maybe 6 or so months later, they reached out to me again for the next campaign to help. And they said, we don't care about your non-compete because your stuff works. That was literally the words that they said to me. We want you back because what you make works. And I did a big solid for them, because one of the things that they gave me, they were doing kind of like retro 80s, 90s toys that had action features, which I had not done before, but I have kind of a brain that loves puzzles and has a knack for engineering stuff, so I like to solve those problems. And one of the figures that they gave me had this kind of like crane attachment that came out from the center of the back and attached to the wrist, and that needed to move along with the arm in whatever direction that it needed to go. And the initial file that they gave me that someone else had worked on, the sculpt wasn't horrible. It wasn't on model, but it didn't look bad. Name that Kickstarter. Oh, let me see if I can find it. It's been a while. look it up. But yeah, so the initial figure that they gave me, character wasn't on model, sculpt wasn't bad, but it wasn't what they wanted. So I was going to fix that aspect of it, because that's also something that I'm really good at, is getting very, very close to original designs. Let's see. Let me see if I can remember what it was called. Force? No. Delta. You know what? I'm going to have to look it up at another time. And we'll talk about it another time. Because I don't remember the name. I remember the names of like the figures and stuff that I worked on, but I don't remember the name of the Kickstarter itself. And it was kind of sad because the first one was successful. It was great. See, I was just curious if I don't know if you did. The two first characters, or no, actually it was more than two. It was kind of like Ninja Turtle-y in kind of the vibe, where they were mutants. There was a frog named Dart. There was the main villain was named Sabotage. This big kind of like hazmat suit mutant looking guy. Like I said, it has this like crane attachment to the arm. Oh yeah, and so to continue with that, the model that they gave, the whole arm stuff didn't work at all. They just had like a stand-in, like, here's the crane arm, here's where it attaches on these points. There was nothing that worked. It wasn't functional in any way. So I had to get it on model, and then I had to engineer all the different parts to make sure that it would function. And I was able to do that relatively quickly, and they were happy with how that worked. And that's why they came back to me, like I was saying, because, you know, the sculpts of all the other stuff, great. Everyone did a decent job. And everything looked on model. I don't know how long it took them to get there, since I wasn't involved after those two figures. But yeah, they, you know, clearly they got done. But they came back to me because my stuff worked. So I helped them with the next campaign. The next campaign was not successful, unfortunately. But I don't think it's because of the figures. I think there's a lot of other factors, unfortunately, that were why that campaign, that second one, did not have the success that the first one did, which was unfortunate. I know the guy threw a lot of money into it, and sometimes, though, money isn't all you need, and sometimes yeah, I don't want to go any further than that. So you gotta head out. Have a good night, everyone. Looking great, man. I appreciate it. Thank you for spending some time coming in. Thank you for the compliment. Yeah, I am enjoying how it's looking so far, and you will have one of these once we start shipping. So I definitely hope that you are enjoying how it's coming out. So thanks for coming in, Davis. Have a good night, and we'll see you in a future stream. Let's see where we're at. We got about a little bit less than a half hour till the last ad break, so we'll carry it through, and then we'll do our wrap up, and we'll talk about what future streams hold. Let's see. For folks that are in here, any other questions about action figures or production or sculpting, either in ZBrush or in other software? Go and throw stuff out there. I love helping out people understand kind of what goes into this. Also, I have a lot of answers to why things do turn out the way they do between the steps of me finishing something and then it going to manufacturing and then getting into your hands in the more mainstream sense. Because that's something I think I've touched upon in a previous stream before, but it is something that I think a lot of people struggle with and don't understand. Sometimes a really good sculpt does not make it through manufacturing well. And there's a lot of factors why that can be. Sometimes it's a QC issue. Sometimes it is a matter of maybe that person's face doesn't lend to the mold. Sometimes it's the plastic that's used. And it's really funny. I've seen the same company sometimes. Since Diamond doesn't exist anymore, RIP, RIP, Diamond Select Toys. They were such an interesting producer of figures. Because sometimes the work was so good and I was so happy with the way a figure would come out. And then sometimes it just felt like it was a completely different production house. And I, for the life of me, never understood why the quality difference sometimes was so drastically different. Especially since for them, I worked on 2 Incredible Hulk figures. One that I am incredibly happy with. And it was Adam's fault. Yep. Sorry, Adam. All your fault. We can say that now because he's not here. Right? Yeah. But I worked on the Gladiator Hulk, and one of the other ones that I worked on was the Smart Hulk. But they did 2 Smart Hulks. They did one that was a Disney Store exclusive Marvel Select one, and then they did one that was a more mass-produced. And that one, the quality of that figure matched the Gladiator Hulk figure that I worked on, which I was happy with. Like they put more work into the design, so the sculptor had more to work with. The quality of the plastic was much better, and it captured the sculpt even more. And then the one that I did, the design was simpler. I think it was a little bit earlier on. So I felt like I didn't have like a lot to work with, unfortunately. But yeah, it was different plastic was used, and it didn't capture the sculpt very well. I think it moved okay, but it was really sad because they came out roughly at the same time. And just seeing those 2 Smart Hulks side by side was just depressing. Because you could totally tell the quality difference was just awful. And for me, having had good experience with the Groot figure that I worked on and the Gladiator Hulk, You know, there's somewhat of an expectation. Those two figures, well received in the community, and that's always, you know, my goal. I'm not necessarily catering to fans in any way when I'm working, but I do want to try to make people happy and hope people enjoy the work that I do. And it's not always going to be at 100% because, you know, it can't be. And that's okay. I don't need everything that I do to be a banger. I'm lucky that a lot of people have been very happy with most of the stuff that I've produced. And most people don't know a lot of the things I've produced. But when you see something come out as bad as that, it's just so depressing. But it is what it is. We soldier on. You know, like I said, I'm very lucky and fortunate to be working on stuff like this. And I do get to work on some cool stuff still at the studio. Got some fun things that are coming out in the near future or will be announced hopefully soon. So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing how that goes. Let's see. That's when it's good that your name isn't on the box. Yep. And you know what? I'm not worried about that. Even when things are good. I've never been I need my name on the box guy. I do like, in some instances, when people know what I've worked on, but I don't need like the masses to know. I like to share my work because I'm proud of it. And I do enjoy being known in the Odious community because it's a community. It's like it's nice to be a part of. It's a little different. I'm not trying to like get like notoriety out of it. If there is any of that, that's like a luxury. But for me, it's just nice to be like part of the community and share in the joy of the figure in the project, which is just really, really cool. Okay. It's looking a little bit nicer. I think I might narrow this. Only because if we look in the art, it doesn't flare, it doesn't poof out as much. Kind of do that on both sides. It's not as bad over here. For whatever reason, I didn't poof this out as much, but yeah. There we go. Let's see. Yeah, sorry, I got a little quiet there for a bit. Hope you all are still having a good time. Thanks for sticking around. Thanks for those folks that are still lurking. I appreciate it. For those that are popping in and out, hope you're having a zen time. Having me in the background talking about making toys, watching me make a toy, and hopefully doing some fun stuff of your own. Let's see. Hey, what's up, Chronicle? Let's see. Give the wolf thing some massive boobas, easy rocket sales. You know what? It's funny that you mentioned that because I do have a version with some pretty big booba, and if I showed that to the world. The guy that I'm working on this project for would never allow me to work on it again, and I don't want that to happen. Um, yeah, but it is funny because some people did bring that up. So there's a fun story with that. Some people were talking about a female version of the character uh, on one of his YouTube streams, and so I just decided to sculpt that out during his stream, and then I sent him a picture, and he about threw his phone. He's a little dramatic. It's very funny. But he's like, yeah, ever show that to anyone and you're done. I said, okay. But just wanted to show you. And it was purely to make him laugh. And every once in a while, I still send him the picture. But yeah, let's see. I came back from my other tab a bit quick. Let's see. Wait up. You have a female Odious sculpt? I have an upper torso. That's about as far as I got. And it's not great. It was just kind of like a quick thing. And that's not a secret. Like, even during the campaign, brought that up on one of the other streams that he was on when he was promoting during the Kickstarter, the second Kickstarter. And I did it during the first Kickstarter, actually, is when I had done it. And luckily enough, someone brought it up again, so I was in chat and I reminded people. Yeah, wait, yeah, he's a funny dude. Like, I get that he doesn't like. I understand why he doesn't want to do a female version of Odious, because it's not like Quantum Leap, the lore that he's doing, where Odious is inhabiting someone else's body. His body is taking over their body, so it doesn't matter if they're man or woman. They become Odious and they become no more, which I think is actually a cool concept and a good twist on that kind of a thing. But that means there will be no Booba Odious ever. But thanks for the prompts on that, Kron. I appreciate you coming in. Thanks for being thanks for your first chat. It's a solid one. Hope you've been having a good Saturday. Did you do anything fun today? Aside from all the crazy weird chatter that we have in the Discord. And I'm not sure, like, I know I saw you popped in earlier, but I don't know if you've been kind of like lurking or in and out Chronicles. But yeah, this is the figure that we're talking about is this guy right here. So yeah, this was the first figure. Right now I'm working on additional parts for a new, basically Odious 2.0, the second round of figures, and that's why all these are here. These are the 4 that are up for pre-order are the new figures, and these were all made possible from the second Kickstarter. So it's been pretty good times for us. And I don't want to say it was touch and go. It was definitely a close call. But it was last time, and it just shows that, this is just a community-made toy. The folks that really love it are the ones that made it possible, and it's really cool to be part of. Let's see. Got to catch up on your comments, Josh. Let's see. Wade is a funny guy, but Odious sometimes takes this shape, he said. Yeah, let's see. To a point, anyway. But in the line isn't defined. You in here, Wade? We need some clarification. Yeah. I let him know that I was streaming tonight, but I know it's, like I said, Saturday's busy, especially since, like, Friday he streams, so he's got to spend time with the fam bam. I think on occasion he'll probably pop in. But I did let him know that we were streaming tonight. And he did share. So I appreciate the support. That guy's always been supportive. I appreciate him lots. All you need is anime boob physics. Yeah. See, that's the thing. That's the thing that hasn't been perfectly figured out yet for action figures. Is to how do you get the anime physics onto a toy? And have it not look funky. So I don't know. Maybe that's the next evolution of toys, Kron. Maybe you're onto something. I'll have to try to figure that out with my toy maker friends to see if we can actually make that happen. And you're right. If that can be discovered in a good way, that will be a crazy moneymaker. Also, thanks for being in here. I appreciate it. I know this is your first time popping in. I know it's your first time chatting, so it's nice to see a fellow from the noodle cult coming in. And I know you're not the only one. I know some other people have popped through. Storm has been through, which is nice. It's actually really, really funny. Very cute. Storm popped in and they said, "Hey, I gotta go to work, but I want to say hi," and then followed me and bolted. So yeah, I was speaking earlier just about starting streaming and how supportive the communities I've started to enter have been, and that is definitely one of them. So yeah, it's nice to have started to get to know you and to be part of that community. As I tinker away at all my toy smithing. All right, let's see. I am definitely liking how this kind of cheek fur is coming out. So I think I'm gonna go start coming down. Let's see. Let's see. Take the follow. I'm off. Have a good night. Hey, thank you. I appreciate it. Thanks for the follow. You have a good night. Your suggestions are noted. And I'll see you on the Discord. But yeah, back to what I was talking about, which is I don't know how deep I've gotten into this story, but I said earlier that I wanted to stream for a long time and didn't kind of know exactly how I wanted to start that journey, which I think is, par for the course for most people. It's a daunting thing to think about because first you got to figure out what you want to do. Then you got to figure out kind of a way to market yourself to a certain extent, how you're kind of promote the idea of networking is always a chore. So I didn't know when or if ever I was ever going to stream. And then about 2 months ago, someone that I follow on Instagram, a fantastic lass, I appreciate her a lot. I saw a notification that she was streaming on Twitch. So I decided to click and see what crazy hell that might be. To give a little background on that, her name online is Sleebun. She is an incredible lady. She owns her own nonprofit cat rescue, and she funds it all through content creation. She is on everything. She's on Instagram. She is on Twitch now, far more frequently. She does Snapchat. There's a platform called Telegram. She's on, I don't know if she's on TikTok, but also she is on OnlyFans. And she gets a lot of crap for that, which is unfortunate. I myself do not follow her or subscribe to her on OnlyFans. That's just me. But I am also in support of anybody that decides to do that kind of work. I don't think it is particularly shameful, and I think if someone is taking care of themselves and not being exploited in any way, then they have the right to do that. And I follow her on Instagram mainly for the cat rescue, and I think she's really funny, and she just seems like a sweet person. So I started following her on Twitch and watching her streams. They were a lot of fun. Actually, the community there was not gross and creepy. It was just a lot of really cool people. And I only say that is because you never know the kind of audience someone might pull in a forum where they are directly interacting with people coming from all kinds of different places. And so that brought me kind of more active on Twitch, watching her streams. And through that, she pointed me towards other streams, which is where I met Chronicles. We follow another streamer. Her name is Nerf Noodle. She is very funny as well. She's a gamer and does gaming streams and chatting streams. Another really awesome person, and fosters a really great community. And so the two of them, kind of just watching their streams, kind of inspired me to go like, oh, okay, I think it's time to kind of jump in and do this. I definitely wasn't thinking like, oh, I'm going to be just like them and it's going to be super successful. It was just the idea of like, why am I waiting? You know? Let's see. Yeah, that's what scares me a lot. Lots of weird people on some of these communities. Yeah, so I think that's one of the things that inspired me, because you never know. Like, it doesn't even need to be someone who is in sex work to have just an unfortunate group of people follow them around and harass them. But that is one place where kind of the numbers are kind of stacked against. So for me, it was cool to see her streams and get to know her and see all the different things that she does. So that's part one. Part two was timing with the Odious campaign coming. Was trying to be a little bit market savvy and go, this is a time where there's going to be lots of eyes on this campaign, and maybe I can take a little bit advantage of the situation and both support the campaign for myself and have the campaign help me kind of soft launch my streaming. And it's actually, it was really, really helpful. And it was also really, really cool because it got me prepared to do some of the streams to help for the campaign, because I became more knowledgeable and had my equipment kind of set up so I knew how to sculpt and stream at the same time, which helped with some of the parts of the campaign when it needed a boost. So, it's one of those things. It's good to figure out ways to give back and also figure out ways to get from, the situation that's going. Let's see. Ads are about to start. Let's see who is in here. We got Mr. Brown and we got Papa. There's a few people that are subs. So for those of you, this is going to be the last ad break. And then we're going to call it a night. But stick around, please. And then once the ad break's over, we'll do kind of a wrap-up and talk about the weeks to come. So ads are going to start in about like 15, 20 seconds. So thank you for sticking around tonight. Please stick around through the ads, and we will do a little bit of a wrap-up and kind of finish my thoughts on the stories that I was just talking about. And it should be starting any second now. There we go. All right, time to take a little bit of a break. Oh, I'm gonna save right now. It's a good time to save. Josh, Papa, anybody that can hear for whatever reason, if the ads aren't working for you, thank you guys for hanging out and chatting. It's been a really, really fun night for me. Good stream. I always appreciate y'all's support. Let's see. Yeah, sometimes in real life, you can't meet with that has different tastes and views about life. Online communities, yeah, it's true. Online communities, they kind of fill those gaps. Also, it's good to find some like-minded folks too, which that could be a good thing, that could be a bad thing. In my current situation, it's been a very good thing to find like-minded people, not to get too much on kind of my background experience and stuff like that in the past couple of years, but it's been rough. I've lost some communities that are really important to me in the past couple years. I kind of had to step away from one because it was getting kind of toxic and I wasn't feeling great about it. I felt like I was being pulled in directions that I didn't like, and I felt like I was becoming a person I didn't like as well. And then another one kind of dissolved, sadly. I'm still friends with a lot of people from that community, but the group itself kind of doesn't meet and talk as much. So that was kind of sad. And then, yeah, that losing that one big community completely, deciding to step away was really, really hard. So it's been rough. But the past couple months, jumping into this world and kind of entering these other streamers' communities and getting to meet other streamers and kind of connect with them on both a professional and viewer level has been really cool. And I'm finding support and friendship where I wasn't expecting it. I never thought I was going to be a moderator for anybody, and the person that I started watching first in this, coming in as just like little viewer Instagram fan person, now being one of several awesome mods. The mods are awesome, and me getting to be part of them is cool as a Twitch mod, and then being the main moderator for their Discord has been really cool. And mainly the main moderator because they were doing it all by themselves. So I was like, she said, "Hey, can you help?" And I said, "Sure." But yeah, so I guess to kind of continue that story, it is really funny. I didn't expect a lot of this to happen the way it is. I got affiliate very quickly because of different people from these communities coming in and supporting me when I was, I'm still a very small streamer, but when you start really, really low numbers, and you got to, find people to kind of come and watch. And a few people from each kind of community would pop into my stream and hang out. And that helped me get the numbers I needed to get to affiliate really quick. I was hoping that I'd be able to do it like in the first few months. I thought that would be nice. But to hit it in the first month, well, it's huge. And for me, I don't feel like it's so much what I was doing, but a testament to the groups that I have stumbled into and how generous everyone is with their time and their support. I try to be very supportive, and I know some of them probably go like, "Oh, it's because you're super supportive," and it's like, yeah, but still, you guys just barely met me. So I still very much appreciate fast friends and fast acquaintances and really cool communities that I get to be a part of so quick. And to go from, like I said, just kind of coming in randomly into Twitch to now being 2 months or so into my own stream. I think this is going to be my 10th stream tonight. And also being able to learn how to moderate streams from that perspective in established communities, and being accepted in those groups in that role is really cool. Because it was only 1 week I was right along with them as a viewer, and then the next stream, all of a sudden, I have this moderator role, and it's all very surreal, but in the best way possible. So I'm really looking forward to this year in this space, because I get to grow in these communities that I'm really enjoying, appreciating the support, getting to support others as best as I can, because that's what I really enjoy doing too, and getting to learn some things that I didn't expect that I was going to learn. I want to do my own Discord eventually, and now I get to learn how to manage one without it being my own. So I get to explore that space in an interesting perspective. Yeah. So that's that. I'm really happy with how this has all been unfolding. It's been a lot of fun. I appreciate everyone that comes in and views and spends the time. It's so cool to have folks that want to come in and support and chat. It makes it a lot of fun. And also, what else was I going to say? Oh, yeah. So next week, no stream, because I will be camping. Looking forward to that, because I like camping. Don't get to do it enough. And the following week, which is, let me look at the calendar. See, so next weekend would be January 17th. So there will be no stream on the 17th. There will be a stream on the 24th of January, and we should be getting back onto Frieren. I might be doing some Odious stuff that stream as well, but I'm hoping by that point I'm through most of the things that I need to do. The werewolf head should definitely be done by then, but yeah, we'll be back to this last. We will leave the purple behind. Watch. We'll get back to the green. We'll get back to this. And there we go. Look, I'm looking less pink and less red. Back to my colors. I like green a lot. But yeah, so no stream next week. Be back to normal schedule the following week. We may test some other days in the future just to see if Saturdays still work for everyone. I'm interested if there are days during the week that actually might bring more people in because people are home and want to chill. But yeah, I'm not sure when I'm going to be ready to try that stuff out. Let's see. I would love to help when you had a Discord. Oh yeah, no, I would really appreciate that, Smurf, for sure. Yeah, I will definitely be reaching out to you once I get to that point. I don't know when I will. I definitely want to build up my following here first because, right now, my follower count is just below 60, I think. And it's not all artists and stuff like that, which is fine. But I do want to, get to a good follower count here of folks that want to not just view art, but also make art, even if they haven't done it before. I'd like to get these numbers up first, so that way I can funnel people over to the Discord and then build that community from there. I don't need grand numbers. It's not like I'm waiting until I have like 1,000, 2,000 followers. I feel like that's way, way far away for me, if that ever happens. I'm just doing this for fun, and if it becomes something more, cool. But my hope is that it benefits people out there in some way eventually. And sure, I would like to maybe make some money off of this. Oh, her body disappeared. That's funny. I would like to make like the files and stuff that I work on available through Patreon. So, if people want to purchase things, they'll be able to. But again, this is not like a money making kind of thing that I'm working on. It's like cool side money that can go back into the stream, and if it blows up, it blows up. But if it's just a little bit here and there to improve what I'm doing, then that's cool. But yeah, so any questions or thoughts before we go? Because I think I have said all I can say for tonight. Going once. With the delay, going twice. That noise is a 3D printed egg. Hope that didn't bug anybody's ears. But yeah, so, okay, let's see. Tea or coffee? Ooh, good question. I prefer tea, but there is a coffee maker at my studio that is very easy to use, and so I probably drink more coffee than I do tea, which probably is horrible for me. But I do decaf, and I also I have a cool thermos that I enjoy, and I'll fill it with a cup of decaf and a cup of like hot chocolate or like French vanilla flavoring. So it's basically just like a sugary drink is all I'm doing. But yeah, I would say tea if I was going to pick one. I drink a lot of iced tea. That's for sure. But yeah, with that, thanks for hanging out. For those of you that came and went, for those of you that stuck all the way to the end, whether you came at the start or partway through, very much appreciate you. We'll see you in a couple weeks. Follow my socials, KGart82, Instagram. My VODs are on YouTube. I have started a Twitter, but I don't know how active I'm going to be on it. I also have a Threads. So yeah, check out all the places. Don't have TikTok yet. Don't know if I'll ever do it, but yes. Have a good night. Thank you. You're welcome for the stream, and we'll see you in a couple weeks. Peace.